Today's World War II airsoft scenario is based on the Battle of Seelow Heights, a late-war battle between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union on the Eastern Front. This battle represented the final gateway in the Soviet push for Berlin. Our small-scale recreation of this historical scenario will be a mechanized one, involving infantry, armored vehicles, and even a remotely controlled airplane providing close air support. We will be primarily observing the battle through three combat vehicles: a German tank, a Soviet armored fighting vehicle, and the airplane. Like the historical battle this scenario is based on, the Soviets will have a greater overall strength and more vehicles, including air support, the latter of which Germany has none. However, the Germans have some of our field's most experienced members on their team, and as such, it isn't going to be an automatic walk in the park for the Soviets. Part 2. In Part 1, the Soviets launched two waves of assaults from their starting position out in the field, with the aim of taking over the German-held town area in the upper left corner of the map. They were repelled each time, using up much of their 1.5-hour time limit allotted for overrunning and destroying the Germans. If they don't get their act together soon, the Germans will run out the clock and win the battle. To make matters worse for the Soviets, they're now down 2 vehicles. Both of their armored fighting vehicles are down for good, due to each vehicle having used up its allotted number of lives, or respawns. Also, a German tank has now positioned itself just north of the Soviet starting position. The tank effectively blocks the Soviets from another attempt at an assault on the northern side of town. With the Soviets themselves now boxed in to an extent, a squad of Soviet infantry regroup away from the nearby enemy tank around the Katyusha rocket truck. They're effectively in a standoff with a squad of their German counterparts who are positioned along the defensive line just south of town. Though they've been previously beaten back, the Soviets aren't ready to give up. They call in an airstrike on those Germans' positions. Replaying in slow motion, the impact points of each cluster of bombs are circled in red, while 2 visible German troops are circled in yellow. At least one is within the hypothetical blast radius of a bomb cluster. Here's how the attack looked to the Soviet infantry. They waste no time. The attack motivates them into assaulting the position. A couple Germans remain, but the Soviet squad quickly overwhelms them. A troop carrier then comes in to help finish off any remnants with machine gun fire. Although this Soviet vehicle is out of the battle, its camera is still rolling. A second Soviet troop carrier moves out of the starting area to join the assaulting Soviet forces. The German tank that's been harassing them pursues. As the tank passes by, in the distance we can just see the Soviet infantry from the assault we saw moments ago. They're now working their way into the town. This German tank won't reach them anytime soon. A Soviet anti-tank soldier is ambushed. The two exchange fire. Then, a Soviet troop carrier approaches the tank from behind to attack it. As a Soviet driver attempts to maneuver behind the tank's vulnerable rear, the anti-tank soldier scores a hit with his portable anti-tank cannon. The tank is now disabled, unable to move. Its weapons, however, are still operational. Realizing that the tank is disabled, the troop carrier circles from a distance, passes behind the vulnerable rear, and machine guns the crew. One crew member is killed. Simultaneously, however, the tank fires off an airburst grenade. It kills the Soviet anti-tank soldier. The Soviet troop carrier again goes for the tank's rear. The tank's machine gunner swings their weapon around and returns fire. Both tank crew members are dead. The tank is defeated. Although that tank took a Russian soldier with it, that soldier's loss was not in vain. While they held that tank back, the Russian soldiers from earlier managed to push deeper into the town area, and more Soviet forces continue to close in. From the now open south, the Katyusha rocket truck delivers a supporting barrage, and that heavily armed troop carrier that got away earlier closes in to provide support fire. The remaining German tank comes to meet that Russian troop carrier head-on. However, although it isn't caught on camera, David beats Goliath. A Russian aboard the troop carrier scores a killing blow on that tank with an anti-tank rocket launcher. An unexpected moment occurs when, as Russians continue to secure the town area, a German attempts to surrender to them. The heavily armed troop carrier pounds the structure containing the primary objective with machine gun and rocket fire. Off-screen, Russian troops prepare to move in to capture it upon it being reduced to hypothetical rubble.
Building is dead! It's top of the building!
One last airstrike arrives, supporting the Russians as they make their way in. The bombs can be observed hitting the west side of the objective structure. In this clip, the airplane's bombs can be heard off-screen.
Oh God, they're everywhere! Won't somebody save me?
By now, the Soviets have at last captured the primary objective. Sadly, it isn't directly recorded on camera. The Russians have achieved victory, capturing the primary objective and neutralizing all remaining Germans. It took them multiple waves to defeat the stubborn and battle-hardened Germans, but in the end, their greater numbers and resources gave them the edge that tipped the balance in their favor. Not terribly unlike how the Soviet army prevailed in the real-life Battle of Seelow Heights, before storming into Berlin and ending the war in Europe. And so ends the main scenario of our 2024 Seelow Heights Airsoft event. It was a remarkable one, with many vehicles for an airsoft reenactment of this scale, and multiple instances where the apparent winning team changed hands. And that was just the main scenario. There were numerous others that occurred throughout the 2-day duration of this event, including a multi-vehicle convoy escort mission complete with ambushes. And, like in actual historical battles, we were at the mercy of the weather. It proved to be rainy and soaking wet throughout the majority of the weekend, making things miserable but all the more immersive. This is our most ambitious World War II airsoft event of the year, and this year's proved to be a very memorable one. If you live in or near northern Idaho and want to get a taste of what you just saw, contact information is provided in the video description. We're always looking for new members, and we'll even provide all of your equipment, guns, uniforms, and all. And just to be clear, we do not by any means endorse the politics nor ideals of the Soviet Union nor any of the Axis countries we portray. We just like the history and have fun recreating the battles between numerous countries from during the greatest conflict that the world has ever seen. But I know what you're thinking. What happened to that one poor German who kept trying so desperately to surrender to the Russians?
Please, you have to help. You're so pathetic, you Russians don't want.
He must have done something earlier that really pissed off his superiors. Before they are both apprehended, this one deals with him personally.
You die!
The Soviets are not exactly saints either. This German tank has already stood down. Here's some more fun clips from that weekend.
I hate you, Russians!
That shot was so close, it bounced under the spare tire.
Come on, kick it shit!
They gotta push into us, guys. Take it safe. We got permission to push!
After that massacre, these Soviets are heading inside to dry off and take a nap. The Germans can have that lousy position. But don't you go anywhere just yet. It's time for the 3-way Armored Vehicle Battle Royale!
We got sandwiched between two fucking tanks. We all felt the shower of the